and drink for the week. So how did that go for everybody? Did you have a good easy time of doing so? Were there any problems that anybody had? Okay, well, I'm glad to hear that. So this session, we're going to talk about being a fat and calorie detective. To help you lose weight will help you build healthy eating habits. And healthy eating involves eating less fat. Fat is the most fattening of all things we eat because it contains more than twice the calories as the same amount of sugar, starch, or protein. Eating too much fat can cause weight gain. By eating less fat, you can lose weight. Even small amounts of high-fat foods are high in calories. And Samantha's passing out the packets for today, so if you want to turn to page 2, we're going to look at an example here. So we can see between the 1/4 cup of roasted peanuts and the 3 cups of plain air pop popcorn that the popcorn has less calories and it also has less grams of fat, but there's about 12 times as much as food as you get in that portion. So even small amounts of high-fat foods are high in calories. Fat is related to heart disease and diabetes. Research has shown that eating a lot of fat can increase your cholesterol level. Cholesterol is one type of fat in your blood. The higher your cholesterol, the greater your chances of having a heart attack. Research has also shown that eating a lot of fat may increase your chances of getting diabetes. So we're going to do a small little activity here. If you want to turn to page 2. Keep in mind that eating too many calories from any type of food is also fattening and will cause weight gain. We're going to look at our little blue list here, and we're going to list what kinds of foods we eat that are high in fat and calories. So if you can't think of 10 examples, that's okay. Just write down as many as you can think of foods that you eat regularly that are high in fat and calories. We want to remember that most of the fats that we eat, about 70% of it, is hidden in foods. So meats contain both fat that you can see and fat that you can't see. Dairy foods such as whole milk or regular cheese and ice cream. Many fat-free and low-fat flavored yogurts are high in calories because they contain a great deal of sugar. So just in case something says it's low-fat or low-calorie, the sugar also can turn, make it more caloric than usual. Snacks such as potato chips contain high fat and high calories, margarines, baked goods, gravies. And you guys can continue to write on your sheets and just give me some information. You might jog something in your memory about something that you eat that's high fat or calorie. Also, some of our juices, some of our soft drinks, and fruit drinks contain a lot of sugar. Now that you've gotten a chance to write down some of your high calorie and high fat foods, I want to look at the fast food menu that's on page 2. So here we have a fried fish sandwich, a large french fry, a Dutch apple pie, and a medium chocolate shake. And so we have a total of 94 grams of fat, 23 grams, that's about 23 teaspoons of fat, which is equal to 1 stick of butter. And then about 2,210 calories. So for many of us, that'll probably be our calorie goal for the day. And so, so that's just in one meal. part of being a fat and calorie detective is keeping track of the fat and calories we eat each day. And so there are a couple of steps that we're wanting to do in this. And the first one you guys practiced last week was writing down everything that you ate and drank. And then the next step is figuring out how much fat and calories are in everything you eat and drink. And we're going to get some practice with this later on in the session. We want you to write it down, and then you're going to figure out each food, the amount of each food and beverage that you drink, your portion size. And so the third step in keeping track of your fat and calorie grams is adding up the fat and calories you eat and drink during the day. And there's a place on the back of our keeping track books where we will transfer the totals, and we will get some practice in this, but I just wanted to briefly show you that back here on the back is your totals, fat grams and calories for each day by the week. And so then we can have a total for the week as well.
Sierra, there's a question.
Oh,
What is a fat and calorie counter?
you'll get one.
Oh,
We're going-
okay. Oh, good.
Sorry, yeah, we're going to discuss
I
it.
have this, and it's so out of date, it's pathetic.
So, as Janet asked, what is a fat and calorie counter? Yep. So these are our fat and calorie counters. They have regular foods, alcohol, fast foods, and so this is going to be your best friend on keeping your fat and calorie counts for the week and your daily fat and calorie counts. And actually, we're going to do an activity now with it. So, Dr. Miller and Samantha are going to help you pass out some.
Does it have sugar in it?
Not sugar, just fat and calories and carbohydrates.
That's what I want.
So you guys will turn to page 4 for me in your handouts. I should have been more specific, sorry. In your handouts, it's just a large example page of your keeping track book, these little ones here. And we're going to do an activity, so we're going to need your worksheet here. Okay. So, do I have a volunteer to tell me what they ate for breakfast this morning? Or you can just come up yesterday if you want. I know that you guys had pretty healthy stuff this morning for the last meeting. Okay.
Okay, yesterday was Saturday. I
Uh-huh.
had 2 scrambled eggs,
Okay.
1/2 of an English muffin, which is 14, well, 14, and scrambled egg. I had about a teaspoon of jam on my scrambled egg, which some people will turn off, but that's my background. And cream cheese on the, and whipped cream cheese on the English muffin, about 1 tablespoon. Coffee.
And then you said, how much of the cream cheese? How much of the cream cheese? Cream cheese.
Cream cheese.
Oh, how much of the cream
Yeah.
cheese? About 1 tablespoon.
Okay. So I would like for everybody to write this down on their practice sample page here. Page 4. So on the amount, we're going to write the amount that she had, and then for the name and description, we're going to write what she had. Is this correct? 2 scrambled eggs, 1/2 of English muffin, 1 teaspoon of jam, and 1 tablespoon of cream cheese. Scoot back here, guys.
Yeah, I scrambled the eggs with about a tablespoon. You want to add a tablespoon of milk?
Tablespoon of milk. Did you add any butter or anything to anything?
No. Let's see if she can.
Okay. Can everybody see this? Sorry, I was blocking it earlier. Okay, so next we are going to go line by line, and I'm going to write it up here too so we won't get lost. And we're going to use our fat and calorie trackers. we want to get some practice with these to see how much, let's do fat first. So how many grams of fat? Well, let's go food by food, and then we can do fat and calories. That'll be easier than have to look it up twice. So if someone finds it in the book, just shout out the page number.
What size?
91, yeah, what size egg? That's what I'm
Small, medium, large.
92 is my egg. That's the what size egg? 91.
So what size eggs can you have?
Large.
A large.
Large. So 2 large eggs scrambled.
And I keep the labels, keep them right with the eggs.
Okay.
So I keep the labels, and English muffin, they're light, whole grain. They're
Okay.
not the regular English muffin.
Yeah.
Yep, no, that's good.
I keep every label I can get my hands.
So our English muffin is whole grain. How much fat do we find for our 2 scrambled eggs?
10.
Okay. Is that for 1 or is that for 2?
That's for both.
Okay. So 10 for fat?
The eggs. Yeah. 10.
5.5, 11.
Okay. Is everybody finding that?
No, the
I'm
large is
seeing
fine.
scrambled egg 2 would be, it says with 2 tablespoons of milk and 2 teaspoons of fat, so 20. So she didn't use the fat, so how do we?
I have 8 in this book.
What page are we looking on? I'm looking at page
91.
91.
I'm looking at my
Are you using butter or?
91.
Okay.
2 large eggs with 2
The English muffin, skim these, no cream cheese.
11 fat.
And that has,
Oh, without fat?
Halfway
Oh, yeah.
down the page.
Oh, yeah,
11 tablespoons of fat.
11.
Yeah.
4.5 grams.
Was your milk skim? Was your milk skim?
1 tablespoon, this is, if that splash.
And it's so little that you probably are better off not counting it. 1 tablespoon of skim milk is really.
Well, I have here 5 grams of it from this. I have it at 5 grams of fat and 10 calories for 1 to 2 tablespoons.
And foods will differ, your package labels will differ. The calorie and fat tracker is a journal across the board for your food. So if you have a label that tells you, then use the counts that are on the label. If you don't have a label, then use your fat and calorie tracker. So next, let's move on to the English muffin. So I'm put a line here because our milk was counted in with our eggs.
It's on page 55.
And there was 180 calories in our eggs too. Has anybody found the page number? Okay, so plain whole wheat. Was it a regular size English muffin? Again, it wasn't a regular size English muffin. Was it just a regular size English muffin?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, peppered, Thomas's English muffin, light whole grain.
So for half an English muffin, guys, how much do we have here for the fat? We have 0.75. How about for the calories?
About 60.
Okay. Now we're going to go to the 1 teaspoon of jam. It's on page 157.
What we usually do is put notes in here to find everything, because it is hard to find.
But as you start using it, you will get very familiar with where is what. The first time it's just difficult.
Has everybody found it on 157?
Zero fat.
So we have 0 for the fat. And how many calories do we have? 20. Okay, now we gotta find our cream cheese.
Goes back with the bagels.
Yeah.
How much was the cream cheese?
It's on page 77.
No.
1 tablespoon.
1 tablespoon.
Everybody found it on page 77 at the top? Okay, so this serving is for 2 tablespoons, so how much fat are we gonna have for 1 tablespoon?
5.
And how much calories?
50?
47. We're gonna have 47 and a half. And how about a calculator to add this up? Okay. Okay.
335.
Okay, I was like,
So, if you don't have one, use a calculator. If you have a smartphone, there is a calculator in here. I use that, or I use my head.
335 for which one?
The calorie, 335.5.
I realized that after I asked. 16. So if you have to use a calculator, it's perfectly okay. If you like to do the mental math, do the mental math. But this is what you're going to go through for each of your days. And then,
Now, you're not using the unsweetened jam, are you? This is regular?
This is the regular
Regular.
jam. If you're using unsweetened jam, then your calorie probably is about 1/4 of that. Yeah.
Well, 10, I have 10, so.
Yeah.
and so these are our totals down here. And so there's not a space for it. There's just total at the bottom here, but in your keeping track book. Your daily totals.
Yeah, the total from calorie.
It's 315.5.
Oh, great. And mine didn't really work that great then.
Well, because I did it in my head and I came up with 315.5, so then I did it on my calculator. And I said,
You're
okay,
right.
now,
That's
15.5, you're absolutely
Yeah.
right.
We good? We good now? Okay, awesome sauce. So when you're doing this, I'm sorry guys, I have some little things. So when you're doing this for your daily totals, you're going to put them down here at the bottom. So just down here at the bottom for your daily totals. There. Do that every day for your daily total. Down here at the bottom is where you put your daily totals.
She told us not to, she just said,
No, this is where the record numbers.
yeah,
Okay.
she told us
Down here
not
at
to.
the bottom is where your daily totals will go.
You're ahead of
Uh-huh.
You were ahead of it.
Oh, wow, you got the math all worked out and
Well, I
everything.
spent when I did with my little adding machine, my little computer, so, well, so, my little period.
Down here at the bottom.
You don't want us to record cards necessarily?
We will.
Eventually.
And then you're also, so once you get done with your daily total, and you're gonna do this every week, every day, and then your weekly totals will be back here. You're just gonna go day by day, transfer your totals from your mid pages to your back page, and that'll give you a weekly total as well. And if you ever have any trouble doing this, if you can't find a food, just bring in your amount that you have eaten, your food and your drinks, and your health coaches or the session guide can help you figure it out.
You want us to weigh every day?
Hmm?
You want us to weigh every day?
It's recommended, we don't expect you, but
Once a week?
we do your weights every session, so if you have a, machine at home, it's nice to know, if not, that's okay.
So if you can't find a food, use a food that's similar to it. For example, if you want a nut bread, you could use like a zucchini bread. Try your best. If you don't feel comfortable trying to guess, then we can help you, or your health coach can help you in your weekly calls to figure out what you're supposed to put down there for the fat and the calories. Write the name of the food in the back of your fat and calorie counter, and there's some space back here as well for you to record things, and we can find it for you. There's also an index back here with some additional information, just like kind of a quick hint for the book. If you're looking for something that's fast food, it's going to be in the red section. Okay. If you're making a recipe, for many recipes, you can simply write down how much of ingredients you ate. For example, in a stew, how much meat did you eat, carrots, and so on. And you can also use the fat and calorie counters to find out how many fat and calories are a proportion of your recipe. So you're going to go line by line for the ingredient, the amount, write down the fat and calories like we just did, add them all up, and then divide each number by the portion size, how many portions there are of your recipe. If you have a favorite recipe and you're having a hard time finding the fat and calories for some of the foods, bring it in and we can also help you with it. And then if we look at page 6, we have a food label here. And so some of the important things on the food label are the serving size. And so for the serving size of this, what's our serving size here on this food label?
1 ounce. 21 pieces. Something like that.
There you go, yep. And how many calories per serving of this food? And then the total fat grams for per serving?
9.
So if we were to eat 42 pieces instead of 21, how many calories would we be eating?
300.
Good. What if we ate 10 pieces?
75.
Yeah, an approximation. You guys are doing good. Okay. Next, I'm going to do some demonstrations. Get into some fun stuff. So part of being a fat and calorie detective is measuring your foods. So we have some measuring cups here. Yep. And we've actually got measuring cups for everybody, just in case you don't have a pair at home. So I'm going to, this is going to make an awful noise, but I'm going to get it closer. The ones first. Okay, so these are our measuring cups. They come, 1 cup, 2/3 cup, 1/3 of a cup, 1/4 of a cup. They are for measuring our dry foods. And so what we want to do, so we're going to dump our dry food in here. We want to make a mess. No, my lady. But for anyone who's ever baked, that's part of the process of making a mess here. So what we want to do is get a little mound up here. Make a mess. I'm going to get a little bit more as I get mound up. start all over the table here. Okay, we're a little mounded up here. So you want to take the back of a knife, or you can take the handle of a spoon, and you just want to make sure that you kind of score it across the top here, and that'll give you a nice even cup. And the more precise you are, the more level it is, the more accurate your measurement's going to be. So we can also do that with our measuring spoons. And so this is just a tablespoon, and you're going to do the very same. Coffee starters work nice too. So it's nice, smooth, nice and level, so you get a more accurate reading. And then the other thing that we want to use to measure, sometimes we have meats, cheeses, other things that can't be put in a dry measuring spoon, but they're still technically a dry food. I think I brought the messiest thing to measure with today. Okay, and these are our scales. Has anybody ever used food scales? Okay. Well, good. So some of us have, some of us haven't. So this is a food scale. They're going to be in all different shapes, all different sizes. Some of them have bowls that you can put on the top of them. Some of them have just this flat plane here. So what you're going to do, the most important thing that you can do is first, before you put anything on it, is that you're going to zero out the scale. Especially if you have a bowl or a plate that your item is in. You're going to want to put the bowl on there first, and mine just turns, so I can turn it to 0 here. So mine's at 0. There's some that you can just put your measuring cup right on top of, and that just makes that sure that it does not account the weight of the instrument on top of it. And then you're going to put your food item in there. And I'm actually going to here so we can all see it. So mine measures in grams and ounces. Most often it'll be ounces that you'll be measuring. And a lot of our meats come in ounces as well. So one serving might be a couple of ounces. And you're going to want to be able to measure that so you can get an actual portion size. So my apple here is about 6 ounces. And then the very last thing we can use to measure our foods is our liquid measuring cups. It's really important that when we're measuring liquids that we get down to eye level. So we want a nice flat surface, because when I'm looking at it above here, it looks like a little bit over a cup. So when I get down here at eye level, it's actually below a cup. So we want to make sure that we are looking at it on a flat surface and eye level, so we get the best, most accurate weight there, or amount there. So these are just some instruments that you can use to help you measure your food for your portion sizes for your tracking books. So now that you've seen me do a couple of things.
If you go to a butcher, if you get meat in the grocery store, the butcher a week where I go is always very happy to measure it exactly for you. You can even ask them to cut a bigger piece of meat into like a 4-ounce serving. And they'll measure it and package it and rate that way. So all you have to do is ask.
Great suggestion. Great suggestion.
Yeah, saves a lot of work.
A lot of mess too. So on page 7, there's some information on how to use the different measuring cups, measuring spoons, and your scale here. You want to weigh meats after they're cooked. Remove the fat and bone before you weigh it. because 4 ounces of raw meat will equal about 3 ounces after cooked, and this is about the size of a deck of cards. Most people are surprised when they weigh and measure foods. Our eyes can play tricks on us. So what I want to do is kind of a guessing game here. We see our box down here on page 7. So here I have different sugar amounts, and they belong to some favorite drinks.
And those are sodas or juices or what kind of ones?
Well, we have, there's supposed to guess what kind of drink it is.
Okay.
Here, okay, I'll make it easier on you. We have 1 soda, 1 juice, 1 fruit juice. We have, I'm trying to think, what else do we have here? We have 1 energy drink and then 1 local southern favorite. So, yes. So in your blank column there, I want you to write down A, B, C, and D. And then I want you to try to guess which one do you think is the drink belongs to. So which drink is A, which sugar amount is for the drink B, which sugar amount belongs to the C drink, and then the drink in D. So we have,
You said D was one.
you had to guess.
Oh, we have to guess.
Yep.
Okay.
What's the 4 choices?
4
Yeah, that's
choices.
what I-
Yeah. So let me carry it around. I'm gonna grab a paper, write it up here.
So it's juice.
So the 4 options are
Juice, pop,
Pop.
energy drink.
juice.
Mhm.
What was the other one?
Pop.
Oh, we're just supposed to
Energy
tell what
drink.
it is?
Yeah, you're supposed to guess what letter
How
it's
much
with.
sugar
How much,
is in
we're supposed to guess how much.
Sugar is in each.
And what size serving would this be, like a 12 ounce? Would this be a 12 ounce serving?
They're all different serving sizes, so once you guess the drink and the sugar amount, I'm gonna tell you what drink it is and what amount of drink it is.
You guys are doing blind.
So we have 1 energy drink, sweet tea, pop, and juice. So we're guessing the sugar amount and which drink is which. Did everybody get a good look at him? Just another minute, maybe, Tanya.